Hey everybody, it's Pandy. I'm playing World of Tanks. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to get my hands on the E50 for this gold contest video. However, I got something that's the next best thing. I'm telling you, it's the T95 American Super Heavy Tank with the 155mm cannon. I can't help but get a boner whenever I play this thing. Oh my god, the blood is just rushing out of my brain, so I'm just gonna make grunting noises for the next 5 seconds. Oh, whatever, that's not grunting. But since I just finished my climax in this orgy of epicness, I'm going to talk a little bit about this tank. Now, the T95 started out as a T28, as you guys might have known. It was originally named the T28, and then later renamed to the 105mm gun motor carriage T95. The T95 was designed to counter the German heavy tanks, such as in the Maus, and also been set as a designated piece of hunk of steel against the heavy defenses expected at the German Sig 3 line. It was first developed and brought up in the spring of 1945, but it proved to be developed a little too late for World War II. By the time the first tank was completed and ready for combat, the war was already over. Damn it. There was also plans to use these monsters during the invasion of the Japanese home island, but we all knew what happened then. 3 prototypes were built, underwent testing until 1947. One in 1947 was heavily damaged by an engine fire during trials and ended up being scrapped. The other prototype was broken up and sold for scrap itself. The last surviving vehicle, the last of all 3 prototypes, was discovered abandoned in Virginia. No one really knows where it was for 27 years, but for the size of this thing, 86 tons worth of steel is hard to miss, especially for 27 years. However, this sole example of this monstrosity, or whatever that word means, is now currently in a museum, and it's actually being prepared to be moved, or not in a museum, but it's being prepared to be moved to Fort Benning, Georgia. Now, backtrack a little bit. In 1947, the contract, or the project, or whatever you want to call it, was canceled and terminated in favor of the T-29 and the T-30 in October of 1947. Original plans called for the production of 25 of these vehicles, where only 3 vehicles were produced, or prototypes, all of them mounted with 4 tracks and a 105mm main gun. In World of Tanks, the T95 is epic. The first thing that I noticed about this tank is that it's slow as hell, and it being slow as hell and a gas guzzler, it made it very, very easy target for artillery. You don't really need to worry about tier 4 artillery, because those already rounds will just simply bounce off your sides and your hull and stuff, which is hilarious, because artillery doesn't bounce. It does on this thing. This tank is slow, but it actually does turn relatively readily. It's not exactly the fastest thing to turn it, but it does turn faster than it moves forward, just fast enough for you to be able to turn this thing towards enemy tanks at a distance. If they're up close to you, just quit out, don't even bother, you're fucked. The armor on this tank is something to be laughed at, because it's just simply, I would laugh every time when someone tries to shoot at this tank, minus artillery. I mean, the frontal armor is that good. It provides enough protection against enemy fire. I mean, an IS-4 with a 130mm can't even, ding my tank. So, I just laugh every time it's bing! I just laugh. On the side armor itself, you just gotta worry just a little bit, because if you have a tier 7 medium tank coming around your sides, even with their biggest guns, unless it's the Panther, they're not going to do much to your side armor. But a tier 7 heavy tank, on the other hand, if they have the biggest, baddest, most upgraded gun, they're more than likely going to be able to penetrate your side armor, unless you're the IS with only a 120mm main gun. If the enemy is firing at any kind of angle against your side armor, though, it's most likely going to deflect. You want to make sure if you're playing against a T95, if you're shooting at its side armor, make sure your round's going in at a 90-degree angle against the armor. It's not going to do much, and it might do a little. Now the main gun, 150mm cannon of death reminds me of the first time I got hit by an Object 704 in my T54. It's just simply insane. I mean, you can shoot an E75 with this bad boy and knock off 60% of its health like that. I've never ever had a tank that actually did 500 points of damage to an upwards of 900 points of damage, minus being an artillery piece during closed and open beta. I've even shot a IS-4 from full health, and you might most likely see that in the end of the video because I haven't done any editing yet. I'm just doing the voice commentary, and at the very beginning of all the shooting that I decided to do, I one-shot an IS-4. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it at the very end so you guys can stick around to the end. I mean, this gun simply just can one-shot any tier 6 tank on the field, and I'm kind of like, fuck y'all. Now, this overall biatch is slow, well armored, and has massive teeth. I love this BAMF, and it does wonders against any tanks on the field of battle. The weakness on this tank is its ass. You get onto its ass and you pretty much have it as long as you don't let it turn to shoot you. Now, the only real place on the front that you can really hit it and do damage is if you look at its arms. If you see the tracks right above it, there's like a small flat portion plate rectangular thing. If you can put rounds into that, that's the only real weakness on the very, very front of this tank. It's the non-sloped flat area that you can penetrate. But if you really want to try to dogfight this tank, just make sure you try not to get right on to its front where its teeth is. Try to hit it in the ass where the armor is weaker. And if you have elevation on this tank, hit it from its top. It's very, very top of the tank itself has the weaker armor. But again, it's not a guarantee that you're going to be able to penetrate, because I've dinged or deflected artillery rounds, which is just simply amazing. Overall, I think this tank is epic. I've got a boner right now if you guys are interested, because this tank is that epic. Just talking about it's making me want to go find a hooker. And of course, this is a gold contest video, as you guys already know. All you need to do is subscribe and post a comment down below for 3,000k North American gold or 2,500 gold for the Russian or European servers. You guys show me some love, I'll show you guys some love by hooking you guys up some free gold. I also want to throw a challenge down for this gold contest. The standard winnings, of course, I just said them, is 3k or 2.5k depending on what server you're on. But I know how much you guys like free gold. So, if you guys give me 200 likes for being awesome, because you guys like free gold, I will dish out more free gold. 6.5 gold for the North American server, 5.5k gold for the European server, and 5k gold for the Russian servers. 200 likes. More free gold. Tell me if you guys don't like that, because I know I like it. I know you guys will like it. That's enough talking. My mouth hurts, and that's just not from... Never mind. Again, this was Pandy. Everybody, good hunting.